When it comes to trading, it's always you against yourself no matter what. You're always going to hear noise around the community. You're always going to hear a lot of social media enthusiasts pushing for who got the most and highest gains. Well, the key thing about trading is that you have to first understand how to master your own emotions and also find the key edge that can help you make money moving forward. In my mentorship program, we focus on using my model so that way you can cultivate your own trading style. In today's market recap for June the 6th, we're going to be discussing key elements and strategies that we had put in place. For today's agenda, we're going to first start off by recapping our predictions that I constantly do and give you guys an idea of the trades that we have taken and the keys to our success. We're going to discuss our wins and how we managed to earn these wins based on our predictions and our analysis. We're then going to be discussing our predictions for tomorrow and highlighting what we see incoming and the key risk elements you need to be aware of. And finally, we're going to be discussing the GameStop situation, go over how far it can go, and go over the details behind that. We're also going to be ending off with our final words and concluding for the upcoming events so that way you guys are aware of it. So let's get started into it right at this time. So today was a very fun day once again in the chat room. If you guys are in my room here, we started off the day as we normally would by basically giving our prediction about the market here. Okay, so yesterday we called the market right as it was. We gave a perfect analysis, giving the key range here. Okay, now this report is very vital to all my members' success because it is designed to pretty much show you and tell you when the market is in a bullish situation and when the market is going to be neutral and when the market is going to be bearish. Okay, understanding the key dynamics in my room is the thing that will definitely propel you to the next level with your trading journey. So for today, we basically shared that the market moved off the Bank of Canada rate announcement. Today was the Euro Central Bank rate announcement. They announced that rates were gonna be cut by 25 basis points. Okay, so that definitely is a sign that we are near the end of the rate hike cycle and things are starting to move lower. Okay, so we analyzed our call gammas and we noticed that the call gammas was between 53.50. We said that the highest probabilities that the market will range between the 53.50 and 53.60 area. That's what I meant over here. The max upside we see is 54.10, but of course the probabilities are reduced at that point. But so we did highlight the key range was going to be there. Our put gamma is showing the resistance amongst the 53 and 59 area zone, and we said that it's an opportunity to trade both sides. Our neutral range for today was at 52.50 and 50. This was meant to be 53.50 and 53.60. So we gave a prediction as well. You know, because of the news, we mentioned that the market had the opportunity to be bullish once again. But of course, by having this report on hand, we can see that since the market's price action wasn't so great, we knew exactly that it was going to be basing the entire day, which we see over here. So if we look at SPX right off the bat here, you can pretty much see here that so this is our SPX chart right now. You can see that SPX pretty much was started off over here. We opened around here. So we opened at near the pre-market high, pretty much base between, so this blue little shade that you see here is 53.60 and 53.50 is where we base. So that was our neutral zone. We hit our level 1 bullish bearish inflection point. So this is a gatekeeping level here, and this is a level that's given to my members pre-market here. Okay, so each level has a meaning behind it. All right, level 1 bearish is an inflection point that pretty much is a gatekeeper to the upside. You can see right over here, time-stamped and no edits at 53.40, and that's pretty much where the market held. Okay, when SPX hits our level 2 bearish, that pretty much confirms the trend is towards downside. So we pretty much knew that right off the bat. So the market bounced off that point, hit the WAP, and this is where we timed a entry for puts. Okay, so we managed to bank a nice put opportunity over here. If we look back on our winner circle, you can see that we took SPX right at that point. We got over 300% on this SPX play. So if we go back to our SPX 5330 put. Okay, so I mentioned in my trade logs, I took the Super Lotto put, and it definitely managed to do very well. You can see based on my analysis over here on why we took it, because it hit the WAP and it dropped, right? So if we go back to it, you see this was mentioned by 152, and this is my voice log, so everything I say in voice is transcribed. It just says edit because it automatically edits everything that I say for every comment, right? Because sometimes it corrects itself. So it edited that, but pretty much at 153, which was around right over here, 154, we took the puts and we took it all the way down here. We knew this pivot point was going to be a support, so we sold our puts, took that profit, and pretty much chilled with the SPX. Okay, other trades that we have definitely seen success on for today, of course, besides SPX, is we had GME. So you know, this is pretty much straightforward. I'm still holding this, but I rolled multiple times. We have COIN as well. COIN did very well. We swinged ASML last from yesterday, and we took profits on this. And NVDA also, we were holding this. It was a 50% play. We still haven't sold, but we're watching the markets to see how that works overall. Okay, so it was definitely a flawless week so far, and I'm very excited to pretty much share that with all you guys for today. Okay, so besides that, let's go over my key predictions for tomorrow. So currently we see that SPX right now, based on what we have right now, is we've seen this is the overall index. Okay, so based on what we see here, it was pretty much a mixed emotion here. We're starting to see, you know, key semiconductors in the red. Other techs like Amazon, Tesla, and energy sector is definitely moving. So we're starting to see, you know, a lot of choppiness near all-time highs. So when we're at all-time highs and we're stalling, you want to be very careful here, okay? This is part of the reason why I took my NVIDIA puts, because this here was my estimated weekly high that I gave my members at 5360. Now 5360 here, once again, if we go back to my weekly analysis, so in my Discord right over here, everything that I give my weekly analysis, all my levels on my stocks, on my charts is all given here, time stamped, and you can see that here. My market sentiment report basically gives an idea about the trend in the market and the key ranges that we're looking at. You can see right over here that we gave this information on June the 2nd before the market even opened. We pretty much mentioned that the key range we see is 5200, 5360, and you can see that chart over here is how we established before it even happened. Okay, so this is the beginning of the week. You can even see that my range that I give, where the bearish breakdown and the neutral chop range and all of that, it respects it, because right here when we broke under this 5260, that's when the market dropped fast. It managed to recover by popping off the 200-day moving average, started to chop around my neutral range, and then once it got a little here in the 5300 range, it chopped for a bit, but once it broke 5320, that's when it really started to rip, and we hit exactly my estimated weekly high right over there, and then dropped again. Okay, so tomorrow we have the job reports. Okay, the job reports are going to be very crucial for our prediction as well. Okay, so we got the job. Sorry, wrong week. This is where the job reports are. Okay, so far we see that the market is expecting that there's going to be higher unemployment numbers. We've pretty much been seeing a trend in that. So sorry, this is on Canada. Yeah, okay. So we got the average hourly earnings and so forth. Okay, so and unemployment numbers. Okay, so the market expects pretty much that these numbers are going to stay low and lower from before. We see that the average hourly earnings is expected to go up a little bit, but overall, we have been seeing the unemployment numbers look, pretty much produce signs that the economy is looking weaker. Okay, so if in fact we see that the numbers are looking more, like there's a little bit of a recovery, I don't think the market's going to sell off. Pretty much the reason for that is because a lot of the G7 nations have been starting to witness their, the rates drops are happening in Europe and in Canada. Okay, so even if we get a hot report on the jobs, that I don't think should really affect SPX much. You should probably see SPX still above 5,300 if it happens. Okay, but if we do see the numbers really drop, then it can pretty much cause the market to continue to trade in our 5,350 and 5,360 range. And I think tomorrow we're likely to see a sell-off in semiconductors. Okay, only because we've made a considerable move in the markets, and usually the week before FOMC interest rate announcement, which is happening next week, there's usually a lot of sellers, and and they take a lot of profits. Okay, so they announced there's no real forecast as of yet in terms of if there's going to be a rate cut or not. I personally believe there's not going to be a rate cut. I think the next rate announcement is probably going to be a rate cut. Okay, so definitely we'll talk more about that as we get closer to that specific detail. So other things we're looking at right now, NVIDIA exceeded my estimated weekly high. It's in my bullish breakout zone. As soon as it broke through 1178, you can see it respected this range. It blew up and then now back lower. So NVIDIA is very bearish into tomorrow if it gets below 1178. Okay, the problem with NVIDIA right now is the fact that the split is occurring on Monday, so it means Friday is the last day. Okay, so this is very crucial to know. With Friday being the last day, usually it's very common that we see they stock the day before the actual split become very bearish. Okay, so keep an eye on that because we're going to be watching that moving forward. All right, if it does get below 1165, it can pretty much test 1147. This is a 50-day moving average, and it's moving back down. AMD is in our no man's land. I don't think it's worth playing. SMCI is in chop range as well, and you can pretty much see here as well. This hit my level 2 bearish, okay, on Monday, and this is where the trend gets confirmed here. Okay, so which this was right over here. Yeah, so it hit that level 2 bearish, and I always told my team, I go, do not buy calls on SMCI because it's hit my level 2 bearish, and even if you hit if you play calls, that is okay. You have to pretty much trade them fast if you do decide to do that, because it does constantly move back down because it hit this number here. Okay, so pretty much it did have news. It hit my level 1 bullish and then back down. So if we see and it bounced off my level 1 bearish support again. If we see this breakdown again, it can definitely get to 700 tomorrow. Okay, so keep an eye on this. COIN, so unable to break through 260. This is my old chart, by the way. We're still looking at this. Bitcoin, it's all about Bitcoin on that. But overall, we see semiconductors looking weak. Now, the strongest semiconductor that I mentioned so far is ASML. ASML has a chance to hit 1060. That's my estimated, that's one of my top levels here. And the reason why is because when Europe lowered their rates, I mentioned that's very bullish for a capital intensive business like ASML. So keep an eye on this. Okay. So now that we've pretty much gone over our prediction and shared the the analysis behind that, let's talk about GameStop. Okay, so this stock here is definitely giving a lot of traders who are playing it a great time, including myself. So what's happening right now? So the key news with GameStop here has to do with Kitty announcing a live stream. Okay, so not only does this is this insanely bullish because, you know, let's just say if he shows his face in that and he's actually real, this pretty much destroys the analysis that a lot of people that were bearish on the stock, saying that, you know, this person's not real, etc., etc. So if he shows his face, that's going to be one positive aspect as well. The second thing as well is to remember here is, what does he say and what does he recommend, right? He's up already $300 million on this stock, and you know, once the stock hits 69, he's going to have $1 billion worth of value on this key position. So that's going to be insane, right? And pretty much what I think is going on, I think he's going to exercise his shares and he's going to continue to go on. This was all planned in advance. And if he was to screw over people by selling it, you know, his option contracts when he dumps is going to be on flow. So if he does do that, then he's the whole situation, no one's ever going to listen to him again. And I think he's well aware of that, right? So based on his past behavior and all of that, I think he's likely to exercise his stock, and that's going to pretty much cause this squeeze to go even higher. We're seeing constant rippers in this stock here. So my prediction here is that this stock's going to go well beyond $100, and it's going to keep going higher because now we're seeing less halts. And why are we seeing less halts? Is because it's not really the buyers that are buying, right? There's no more apes that are buying. There's basically people, the hedge funds are buying in order to protect themselves, in order to make sure they have the shares available to cover Roaring Kitty's obligations, right? So when he exercises the shares, those hedge funds are buying the shares, so that way they can have that shares ready to deliver once the exercise happens on June 21st. So that's very key to remember for right now. So I don't think he's going to do anything with it. There's going to be brokers that may prevent from buying, but that may cause the stock to move lower. But I think once the stock breaks through $80, I think everyone that sold prematurely are going to regret it, and they're just going to hold it throughout the entire time. So this squeeze is probably going to be bigger than the one in 2021, only because there's more money on the line for Roaring Kitty, and it just looks like it's a perfect picture. The first time when it happened, it went up and then it dumped, and the short interest blew up from there. They were writing puts on this like no tomorrow. Okay, so it's definitely crazy to see that. Okay. So now we're going to end off the video here, giving you guys words of wisdom here. So let's talk about what I mentioned earlier when it comes to trading, about you versus yourself. Okay. So trading, you know, sometimes people are motivated by other people's losses, right? Like, and wins. So you're going to see GME. You're going to see a lot of people who say, man, I missed out on that. And man, I didn't know about that opportunity. Okay. But when I say it's you against yourself, it purely comes down to, okay, why did you miss this opportunity and others didn't? Okay. So because you didn't put yourself up to do the research or to take the time, that's why it's you against yourself. You never spent the time to look into the key trending things. Since the GME was moving, I had this on my watch list for the past 2-3 months, okay, because it's moving. As an option trader, you have to think 10 steps ahead, and this is where you against yourself comes in. You have to prepare, you have to wake up in the morning to make sure you guys know what's going on in the market, and you're looking for the key stuff to move here. I scored on coin calls because I seen it as an opportunity that it would move off Bitcoin. And why is Bitcoin moving? Because they're lowering rates for European zone, and that's bullish for Bitcoin. Okay, Why is ASML moving? ASML is moving because of the semiconductor events, keynotes that happened, right? They mentioned their details. So this preparation, you know, for whatever reason, if you're a trader that cannot do it, join my mentorship program and you get all that information available to you because I do the research. And, you know, I understand life is always busy, but in order for you to be successful, you have to be the best version of yourself. And that's why in my chat room, not only do I trade, but I also basically show my commitment to not only doing well in trading, but my overall wellness. This is all my workouts that I continuously post as evidence for my team here. Okay, so that's all I gotta say for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this longer than expected video, but overall, we'll see you guys in the next one. And like always, let's get that money.